at the end of it, what's it called? At the end, I actually got offered another contract to do content, but that's where I said I want to be able to compete still. And they said if you do this content, you can't compete.
You can't potentially get work up to get signed by a team that needs you as a competitor.
Exactly. And like I said, I started this in the dreams of I want to be able to compete and I want to be able to, like I said, make my legacy in this.
Shout out to Waterwave TV, DJ Cam and he shit is here. Waterwave TV, man, y'all see what the fuck going on? We turned up in this bitch. Shout out Waterwave TV. Waterwave TV. Waterwave up in this bitch. Man, shout out to Waterwave. We do this shit all the time, bro. Waterwave in this bitch.
Yes, sir.
in this bitch. You know the fucking vibes, man. Waterwave, you know what it is. Hey, big Waterwave. Big Waterwave. Waterwave.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to a new episode of Waterwave TV interviews. Today we got the first ever gamer to step into the Waterwave interview circuit. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be able to be here. Obviously, I came here for a last minute little adjustment for Thanksgiving. Obviously, came to see the family, and I had to stop by the Waterwave crew. You know, I had to always show love to them.
I mean, if you didn't know, this is Devin. TTinyy or Tiny? They call it, I feel like you get called both.
Yeah, I get called. I don't know why. Honestly, whenever I made like the 2 T's, 2 Y's things, it just looked better to me than T-I
like,
and Y.
So it's just
people just
Tiny is the name though.
TTinyy. I was like, all right, cool. Like, you feel me? I'm not gonna knock you.
I feel like it differs you from who else Tiny could be.
Yeah.
Someone says TTinyy, that it's him. But someone says Tiny, maybe they have to like, oh, you mean this guy?
For sure.
But yeah, like you said, you're in town for the holidays. You're staying in Texas right now.
Yep.
How's life out there?
It's honestly, growing up in Minnesota and then moving to Texas is definitely different. You feel me?
Yeah.
Obviously, the main point of interest for it is the cold. The cold. I came back here and was shivering. That usually I'm used to, but I've adapted already in Texas, and coming back out here it was shivering. But Texas is nice overall. It's nice. It's definitely a different environment. It's different. You see different certain things. You see different sceneries. Obviously that's just what it is, moving from state to state, but it's cool overall. I like it, honestly.
Do you prefer video games out there? Like, is the Wi-Fi better? Is that true thing?
10 times better, 100% better. If anybody says the internet is not better in Texas, they lying.
Yeah.
They lying.
How does that work? I don't want to talk about too much about Texas. Is it just because, like, about internet, whatever, in this interview, but is it because of, like, just the cables that they got or connection?
So out here in Minnesota, I figured this out early, too. We don't have fiber line internet, like, really much access anywhere. I think over in, like, 2 hours north, I think you can get some, but
it's hard to come by in the city.
I'm not gonna go live 2 hours north.
Yeah.
But like, Texas was just a whole different vibe, and then obviously the internet. They have real AT&T fiber. Shout out to AT&T because I ain't never had an issue with my internet. The only time I have an issue with my internet is if it's like storming really bad. But even then, like, it's still rare. You know? So yeah, their internet out there is something different.
But let's talk about kind of how you got into video games a little bit earlier in your career. I know you're from Minnesota, which is like I feel like it's definitely a great state for video gaming because of the cold. People be inside more than not, but it's definitely not something that Minnesota was known for. Nah. So how was gaming when you were like going through high school and stuff like that? And like I guess like when did you start taking it serious? I guess
the game. See that's a funny question to me because I get it all the time too. Whenever I do any sort of interview, podcast, anything, I get that question all the time. And realistically, gaming to me was very important. It wasn't important, but it was just something very fun and active to do. You feel me? It wasn't anything like, oh, it's just a game. Obviously, I knew in the back of my head it was just a game, but I was always naturally talented at it. And my older brother actually put me on to Halo 3. Okay. And I used to watch him and my father play like Madden. They used to play a bunch of different types of games, but Halo 3 is what really got me into it because that's where I was met to the online world. You feel me? And as younger people, especially in Minnesota, online wasn't like a big thing when we were kids. Like it wasn't. It was just getting introduced. And once I realized, like, once I got the idea, like, okay, this person I'm playing right now is just doing the same thing I'm doing, just in a whole different side of the country. You feel me? Can be anywhere in the world. So I was like, okay, I like that. And then once I started actually, you feel me, getting very, very good at it. Once I started actually just competing at a high level, and actually, I realized my IQ for the game, I was taking it more serious than others, and I was like, I enjoy doing that. You feel me? It's not like I would just brush it off, and then I would always do other stuff, play basketball, go outside with friends and that. But my main focus was, look, I'd rather go play the game. You feel me? I don't want to deal with no other bullshit from anybody else. I want to go play the game, do this. And then I actually got introduced into the competitive scene off of GameBattles.com, MLG Gaming. And I seen what they were doing. I was like, oh, they're making I see them making a living off of this. And I was just like, I want to do that because I'm watching them play. I'm like, I think I can do better than that. I think I could, you feel me, be up there playing and competing at that level. And so once I realized that, it stuck with me. It locked me in. So throughout high school, people would be going out to parties. People would be going out doing this, that, and the third. And I would show up, but I would show up late. You feel me? So, the parties would start at, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It starts getting shut down, whatever. I would be the one to show up at, I'd be like, yeah, I'll show up, but I'll meet y'all there. And I'll show up at, 12:30, you feel me, because I'm playing the game all night.
Yeah.
And tournaments run through whatever time. I'll be like, yo, look, let me finish this tournament. Sometimes I wouldn't even show up. Even though I said I was going to show up, I wouldn't show up because
it's taking forever.
You feel me? I'm playing a tournament. It might take some time. But I had that priority already stuck in my head where it's like, if it comes down to it, I'm not worried about going out. I'm not worried about being social with everybody because at the end of the day, I had my little friend group, you feel me? I had my people that I know if I go to school that day, I'm going to be able to talk to even if I didn't talk to them all weekend.
Yeah.
So it was always, I noticed my priority to it. I was very devoted to it, dedicated, and I had a dream that I wanted to accomplish.
I mean, it's definitely paying off. Was because I mean, we had a pretty similar introduction into shooters. I was a Halo 3. My friend had it, whatever. I played it, and then the first COD I ever bought was Modern Warfare 2. But speaking on Wi-Fi, you remember on Xbox 360s, you had to buy the little antenna thing to plug in the back to use Wi-Fi.
The adapter.
Yeah, so Wi-Fi, that competitive online gaming or just online gaming in general was hard to come by, honestly, unless you had a wire that could fit to your Xbox.
It's crazy you brought that up because I actually would get into that. I would have those issues too because I didn't understand that. All right, I understood what internet was, but I didn't understand the full aspect of it and all the details. And then I would always play wireless. And obviously, if you're a gamer, if you play wired, it's better internet connection for you overall because the internet speed's going straight to your console. Yeah. But our Wi-Fi, our modem and router were downstairs actually in the basement. And I was upstairs. So it's like I was so far away from it. And on top of that, with my whole family, I was in a family of 5 living together. We were, I would lag. You feel me? It was so crazy to the point where if my little brother turned on his phone Wi-Fi, I'd start lagging. And if he didn't, then I'd be okay. Yeah, same here. I would have to get on his ass like, hey, bro, turn that Wi-Fi off. He'd get mad at me and he'd be like, no, I'm doing something. I don't care. Turn it off, dude. I'm in a game. So then, you feel me? We would have that issue. But over time, once I got older towards high school, I realized what it was. And at that point, I was like, screw it. I'm going to move my setup downstairs. I'm going to go downstairs with it. Do
what you got to do for the game.
Exactly. Yeah. And then after my freshman year, my parents split up. And they were moving into houses and everything. And they realized how important gaming and internet was to me. Internet wasn't anything important to them because obviously they're using it for simple stuff like just going online, watching TV, shit like that. But they realized it was important to me. So then they were like, hey, we're down to put, where do you need the router to be so you can do this? I was like, I need this to be in my room, if I'm going to be honest. I need it to be somewhere close enough where I can put this cord right here from my shit to this cord right here to the end of that shit. And then that's when the internet problems weren't really an issue anymore. And that's where I felt like I accelerated a lot more because obviously playing online, it comes down to ping, internet connection, how quick your bullets can connect to somebody else or whatever the case.
And you don't want to have excuses.
Exactly. I didn't want to have excuses. I didn't want to have excuses. I was trying to make it happen by any means necessary. And so bless them for letting me do that. And that's when my internet issues cut out. You feel me? So then I took it a step further. I would start going on Comcast, you feel me, Xfinity, because that's the only thing we had in our area at the time. Or we had another one, but I forget what it was called. It was some trash shit. But I started going online, looking up, researching on my own, what can we do to get better internet? You feel me? Is there better Wi-Fi services? I would look up on YouTube, how to make your router better, this is that. I would just be doing hella research on it. So, you feel me? I just had to make sure that I was at the best advantage I could have possibly, or even a fair advantage. And, like I said, that's when my internet issues cut out. Yeah.
I mean, was it a little difficult to explain to your parents what you were doing with the video games, for them to understand it? Because when I was I guess we're the exact same age. So when I was growing up around the time when you started doing it, I was into it. I didn't understand it as much as you did. You understood what these rule sets are and shit. I'm sure at that time when I was more of there's a website I can compete against people, not knowing too much about it. But I remember telling my parents, there's this huge tournament in Anaheim or something. I want to go to it. And they're like, what is it? They don't understand it. What, I guess my question is, how did you convince them that this is, worth spending my time on, not going to sports? And then also, like, what was the day where they were like, I'm glad I let you do that, or like, I'm happy that you showed them like, this is what I'm supposed to do?
So how I was raised growing up and everything, my parents, they spoiled us. I'm not gonna lie, they spoiled us, and they always wanted what was best for us. They made sure to get us stuff that they didn't have. You feel me? So I was very lucky as a child growing up too, in my case at least. And they ended up they understood it, but they didn't see anything to it, because us growing up, we're just getting into it.
Yeah. And I guess back then the COD scene was like 10,000 for the major event. It wasn't like $5 million prize pool.
Exactly. It wasn't high prize pools. And so like, and you got to realize too, our parents growing up when they did, if you were to tell them, yo, look, I want to play gaming for a living, they'd be like, well, is you fucking stupid? Like, what are you
making the video game?
Yeah, like, are you making the game? No, I'm playing it. Well, you can't do that. And you feel me? So it was definitely a struggle being able to like tell them and get it through their heads that like, I want to do this, I know I can do this, and it is possible. You feel me? It's just like a sport. It's possible to do this. So I think the one time, so I know my mom, she kind of started seeing how into it I was, because like, yo, Devin, it's time for bed. I'll be like, hold on, let me finish this game. You feel me? Like, I want to finish this. And she started seeing how important it was to me. She started seeing like, he'd rather do this than go out and hang out with friends sometimes, which it's cool. Like, you feel me? It is.
You're honestly making safe, in a parent's mind, you're making safer decisions.
Exactly. Yeah. But at the same time, my parents didn't want it to take control of my life. You feel me? Because there's some people who it can really take control of your life just as anything else can in this world. If you get too much of something and you get too used to it, too addicted to it, it can take control of your life and you lose focus of what life really is at the end of the day. You feel me? Life, I feel like, is about pursuing your dreams. I feel like life is about being able to make a living where you're happy. You feel me? Even if it's you got to take a pay cut, as long as you're happy, that's what life is in my mind. But to them, they didn't understand that you could make that living off of this. And so I remember the first time I won a tournament online, it was a 2v2 tournament in Black Ops 2. I didn't even have, the only ways to get paid out were by check or by Dwala. And Dwala, it would take two to 3 weeks to pay out. And then this is when I was 15. So Dwala would take 2 to 3 weeks to pay out, and then the check would take 3 months. So obviously I want my money right away as soon as possible. So I was going through Dwala. I asked my dad, can you help me with this information, set this up, this is that. But I was so young to the point where I would put in my social security and all that, and it wouldn't work.
Because
you're too young. You're too young. Why are you even doing this? Why do you need a Dwala at the age of 15? So I'm like, okay, screw it. I'll take a check. Put in my information, took a check, forgot about it. Did the same thing I've been doing, just forgot about it. And it was the funny part is it was literally $75. It was a $75 check. But to me, it was the principle of, hey, look, I just got this on my own. And so
it paid for that video game you just bought.
Exactly. So then one random ass day, because like I said, it takes 3 months. One random ass day, my dad, he's like, yo, Devin, you got something in the mail. And like at 15, why am I getting something in the mail? So he's concerned about it too. He's like, what is this? And I looked at it and it said Major League Gaming Inc. on it, Incorporation. Sure. I was like, oh shit, I just got $75. So I ripped it open. I was happy and all that. He's like, okay, well, good job. I'm proud of you for making your own money. This is that. And I think that was the moment where my dad was like, okay, he can make money off of this now. So like, as a father to a son, you want to make sure your son can be able to, you feel me, live. You want to make sure he can provide for his next family coming up in the generations. And that's where he was like, okay, well, he can make money off this. This is proof right here in paper. So that, I think that those were the moments, those were the times. And again, that was my freshman. That was my freshman year. So yeah, my freshman year was when they were like, okay, he can do this. And then as well, like I said before, my parents split up after my freshman year. So instead of me handling and coping with my parents splitting up in a way where I go out, I started doing, you feel me, bad shit, I started acting out as a kid, I would just play the game more, you feel me? And whichever house I was going to, I'm bringing my setup. You feel me? Whenever they're like, in the car, we're going over here, all right, let me get my setup. So that's when they realized, okay, this is extremely important to him, and and he can make money off of it. And that's when I started playing like Search and Destroy challenges, you feel me? Because I think a year or two later, Call of Duty Ghost came out. And I would end up start playing for money because UMGgaming.com came out during that game, and I would end up playing for money. I had like $5-10. I'd play wagers. You feel me? Next thing you know, I'm playing for $20 to $30. I'm winning. Next thing you know,
I remember when wager matches first came out, I was like, "This is a thing." Like
that's what I'm saying.
Crazy. I can bet on this game right here. I can put a wager on it.
Exactly. I'm sitting here looking like, so if I want to go to the gym and play someone one-on-one for basketball for $20, I can do that, or I could take my skills on the game and play someone online to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So then they were like, okay, well now he's starting to bring in more money. He's winning more tournaments. Okay, let's see what he can do with it. So then I want to say junior year in basketball. I remember that was when we first started having morning and after school tryouts for JV varsity. And I didn't give a fuck for him. When I say I didn't give a fuck for him, I was playing basketball just because I wanted to stay, feel me, in multiple activities. I wanted to be able to, you feel me. I was a social kid. It's not like I would play the game and not talk to nobody. I was a social kid, you feel me. I still had friends. I was doing everything a normal child would do, but I was also just going home and grinding the game. And I remember during that season, like I was just during the tryouts, I was like, I truly don't give a fuck for this. Like I would literally go to school on like an hour or two of sleep. And I got to get up at 5:30 a.m. to get ready to go for tryouts. Yeah. And I got to go to school, go after school tryouts, and come back home, and I just instantly play the game. Like, I would choose the game over homework sometimes, you feel me? Just because I don't know. I just seen it in my eyes. I seen the vision, and I wanted to make sure that vision could get accomplished.
Well, sometimes you just got to, at that time, not risk it all for something, but like with the waterway shit, like we dropped out of college or whatever.
You got to put some shit to the side,
you
feel
gotta
me?
do it. That's actually really crazy. Like I had the exact same thing when I was in like 10th grade going into my year of basketball. I didn't give a fuck about it, and because I wanted to play video games. That's actually really weird. And like they said that, and like I didn't try tryouts. My parents like, just go. Like I didn't pick up basketball all year. Like just go, you might like it. I just didn't. Whatever, I didn't play. So then that opened up time for me to be like, let me see if I can do this shit. Yeah. But my parents were always just really big on like sports and stuff, because that was like what I always loved growing up. But like whole time, like when I wasn't at sports, what was I doing? Playing the game. Yeah. So it's like it was kind of hard in their eyes. Like they almost felt it as like I actually like sports more, but like I was lazy or something. Yeah.
Like, no, I know. At one point in time in my life, I think my junior or senior year, I think it was my senior year actually, my senior year and getting out of college, and even a couple years after that, my parents would always say like, my little brother played football. He was really good at football. He also played basketball too, but he was really good at football. My older brother was a demon at basketball, and they would always compare. They say, the way we look at it now is Call of Duty to you is like basketball to your older brother, football to your younger brother. You feel me? Yeah. And that's when I realized, I was like, okay, bet they are now 100% committed into doing this, like, and they're actually believing in me and letting me, you feel me, work this out. And so and the crazy part is, after high school, I even took the step further, because I didn't want to be like, all right, after high school, I'm not going to college, I'm just going to try the game. I could have did that, but I was like, I was still in my head, I'm like, it's not kicking as much as I want it to be right now. Like, it's definitely going good compared to a lot of people, but I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where my goal is to be. And I want to make sure I have that back plan. And if my parents can go and change their views about how they wanted to raise their child, if they want to go and change their views to be able to support me and understand where I'm coming from, I'm understanding where they're coming from at the same time. So I was like, you know what? They want me to go to college. I'll go to college. I'll go to Anoka Ramsey Community College for, you feel me, a little bit, just to see where it takes off. Yeah. Just to see if my gaming can take off, just to see if this can take off. Yeah. And I was doing college, and the gaming was taking off further and further the more I was going to college. So then in the back of my head, I'm like, I had a decision. I went for a year and a semester, and that semester, throughout that, after the year went good. I went back for that first semester, or for that second year for the first semester, and throughout the days of class, I was just like, I could be doing more with the game. Like I've gotten to the point where I grew a fan base, I grew a support system,
like actually more with your time than just
studying. I could do more. You feel me? Yeah. And I was making decent money at the time. I was making decent money off of it, and the way I looked at it, I gave myself two options. It was like, look, you can keep doing what you're doing now, and this is my young age too, where I just turned 18 and I can actually compete now. You feel me? I was like, look, and side topic actually, or not side topic, but same thing. I was actually traveling too while still going to college. So like, I would have to go to an event on a Thursday, or like the tournament would start on Friday. I would have to go to an event that Thursday. That's when everybody would fly in, and leave on Monday. I was the type where people are showing up early Thursday. I'm showing up late Thursday night. Instantly, all right, what's up, you guys? See you all. Boom. Go to sleep, wake up, do it there. I would even end up having to do some homework at these events. You feel me? Like, keep up. I remember in, what game was it? Black Ops 4, actually. I ended up going out to Las Vegas for a tournament, you feel me, for the opening tournament of the season. And I had an assignment due that Friday night. I had an assignment due at 12 o'clock. And that Thursday night, I didn't do the assignment, you feel me, because I started to lock in. But that Friday night, I remember me and some friends, we were all just chilling. We were in the parking lot of like a hotel / restaurant, and one of the homies had their laptops with them, and he was on the internet, like he was using the hotspot and everything. I'm like, hey, bro, let me use that laptop for like 30 minutes. I need to get this assignment done. So it was a matter of me putting in the effort for both. And then, like I said, that one time in college towards that first semester, the second year, I just said, look, you can drop this right now because you're not enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie to myself and say I'm having a blast doing this. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I was just like, fuck it. I told my parents too before I made the decision. I told my parents, give me 1 semester off and let me see what I can do. Give me 1 semester, and that was probably the best decision of my life because it got to open up my eyes on a lot of different things. It got me to let me be able to start my dream and start my goals to get to where I want to be. I still haven't reached those goals, by the way, but it got me to where I was like, okay, a better position.
You're controlling
overall.
your future
exactly,
now.
A better position overall. And it also showed me that my parents still trusted me for the fact of it. You feel me? So, like I said, I feel like my decision making up to these points were very, very well executed, well thought about, well put on. I put all my cards on the table and I just looked at them and I was like, let me get it done.
That's good. What's like so is your goal to be a professional player like in the CDL? Is that like your goal, or are you okay with, let's say, being like a search like S&D kid or whatever they K that's like good at gaming, streaming? Obviously you're an entertaining streamer because that's been successful for you. Like, would you rather be a professional player for like, let's say, the next 6 to 10 years out of your career and then stream after it,
100%.
or just rather just be straight streamer?
100%. I would. My goal is, because at heart and growing up in my family, we've always been competitors. You feel me? So my goal is really to get back into the pro league, get in there for about 5 to 6 years, like you said. I'd be perfectly fine with that, and then coming out. But my big goal, my overall goal, because obviously you gotta have micro goals and big goals. You feel me? One of my big goals is just be able to become a GOAT at this. You feel me? Be able to become a GOAT all across the country. You feel me? And be able to say, I left a legacy. And the difference between a legacy and leaving a statement it can stick there. A legacy is gonna stay there. You feel me? And that's what I want to do.
Be the reason why someone decided to start streaming or something.
Exactly.
Shit.
I want to have a legacy behind this shit. I don't want to just go in half-footed, put my effort in and not get a lot. I want to make sure my effort's being paid off. You feel me? I want to make sure I get there to where I want to be. I want to have the same dreams that I had as a kid getting into this. You feel me? Becoming the best at it. And that's my overall goal, just to leave a legacy, leave a stamp in here that's going to stay forever. Because esports is growing at a crazy rate right now. Esports is blowing up. You feel me? Halo's back on top now too.
We're nowhere near.
You feel me? We have so many games, so many esports, and with the younger generation, gaming and esports in general are here to stay. And I want to be able to say, I left my legacy here. I left my statement here, y'all. Or my timestamp here. Y'all are gonna remember it forever.
I mean, what was the connection like with the Minnesota ROKKR? How did they sign you for that season? And what was like, what was your understanding of like your role when you signed, I guess?
So I was contacted by Midnight. Midnight, I was in talks with her because I had knew her previous to ROKKR ever even being a thing, or the league changing from CWL to CDL. But I was in contact with her. And then we ended up getting in talks, and it was a lot of flirting stage with the ROKKR Twitter itself. And Ashley is actually the one, Midnight. She's the one who put me on the map with them, and they signed me actually. They signed me as a substitute player, but then I also got a bonus for being able to do content for them. It's because it's basically 2 jobs into one. And so I was like, all right, bet I'll do that. And so I knew my role as a player. Like, I could get subbed in, but at the same time, I still got to keep doing the content no matter what is going on.
Yeah, that was like when you were bringing roles.
The whole weird situation about that is once the pandemic hit, we couldn't even go in and do content. So like everything was from home, and it was a really weird transition that the whole world had to transition into. But
because I seen you used to do like the playing with the Vikings or whatever, shit, like press runs like that. You were like the representative for the ROKKR. You and Ashley or whoever else would come with.
We were doing a lot of content before the pandemic hit, and it was a beautiful time. But at the end of it, what's it called? At the end, I actually got offered another contract to do content, but that's where I said I want to be able to compete still. And they said, if you do this content, you can't compete.
You can't potentially get work up to get signed by a team that needs you as a competitor.
Exactly. And like I said, I started this in the dreams of I want to be able to compete, and I want to be able to, like I said, make my legacy in this. And that content role at the time, it didn't feel right to me to just start dropping competing and just go straight to this. I was like, no, I put my trust into myself this whole time. My parents still trust me on my decision to make for myself.
It's early as hell in your career.
So I was just like, you know what? Let's keep doing this. I'll get back to you guys, and then in the future we could be working together. But at the time, I just wanted to be able to say, look, I want to compete. I want to get this on my own and get it done. And so that's where we're at right now.
I mean, yeah, 'cause I was gonna ask like how it ended and if they offered you another role or whatever. But no, I think that's the right choice because obviously like you don't need their paycheck to survive off of gaming. You know what I mean? Like they're whatever. So like you definitely could fit the role on any organization as a streamer for that organization, or like a content creator for the organization. Like I teased with you the other day. I was like, you signed to Optic yet? Now that you've been living out in Texas and shit. Because like I know you got
Optic,
some.
If y'all need somebody, I'll definitely sign with y'all.
Yeah, I know. Hex, I know you follow us on the gram. You probably don't watch our interviews, but if you tapped into this one, get my guy Devo on your squad, man. I know you like the content and he know how to make it. But I know you have some connections with them as well. Well, how did you get close with Embos? I know you and Embos kind of have a pretty close relationship.
How did I get close with him? Shit. I've known him for a minute, but I think honestly it just came down to S. And I think, actually, no, scratch that. I know the first time. So look, I was a fan of Bo's at one point because I liked what he was doing with his work. You feel me? I was definitely a fan of him, and he was a competitor as well. So
he was one of my favorite guys to watch, even though he wasn't the most popular guy. Like viewer wise, I fucked with his content a lot.
Nah, I fuck with him because one, he always keeps it real. You feel me? That's one thing about him. I could call his phone today and he'll answer. And he'll keep it a buck with me. If I'm fucking up, he'll tell me I'm fucking up. And I remember the first time we ever had a little interaction, which was on Twitter actually. I posted a video from one of my wagers. It was a funny ass video. He replied to it, and then we ended up just following each other, or whatever. And then I think in World War II, we ended up just playing S&D tournaments together in Childs, and you feel me? Real recognized real. We were just fucking with each other at the end of the day, and we were both good at the game. So even though he took his talents and he kind of strayed away from the game and started up Rich and Lonely, even though he's doing his own jug. Yeah. We always stayed in contact. We always stayed close because at the end of the day, it's all love between us. You feel me?
I mean, RNL Bose tapping with his music.
Facts, no cap.
I mean, what's his? I definitely listen to one of them.
Tapping with Rich and Lonely. Y'all better get y'all.
I got the Rich and Lonely Hex Quarters collab. One of those tees.
Hey,
hold time. Wait, Hex, if you still watching, man, I got this on. I forgot I was wearing this.
Hey, look. Hey, he got the drip on him.
Hey, man,
he got the phase versus Optic, the drip.
Hey,
you got the red or green pill. Pick one.
Yeah, they had some fire merch. I don't usually buy too much just like merch drop shit because usually the quality is bad. But like I've been an Optic fan since I knew what Optic was. Like I was like a big Optic fanboy as a kid. So like the fact I got to interview Hex when the CDL came here or whatever, like that was like a dream come true. Like he's like my biggest inspiration when it comes to the way I run Waterwave, like the way he does the content, and like where I want to be one day. Like obviously we're not in their level yet, but like the Hex Quarters vibe. Yeah. That's what I need.
No, I definitely, and whenever like the topic of Hex comes up, because he's not a topic you can really ignore. You feel me? At the end of the day, he's not a topic you can ignore. He's not a human being you can ignore. I always give props to him, no matter what conversation it is. If people are hating on him or if people love him, I always got to give props to him because he is one of the smartest individuals I've ever even had a conversation with. He's one of those people. He's got a plan, he's got a dream, and he's gonna make moves to get it done. And that's one thing I gotta always tip about him. He's definitely a GOAT at this. That's what I'm saying. He left a legacy, and he's still going. You feel me? So, yeah, Hex is that guy for surely.
I know you got somewhere to be, so I don't want to hold you too much longer. But I have a couple more questions for you.
Go ahead.
What do you think of like this new generation of kids that were basically S&D kids? I'd say like the Illies and stuff like that. Like I forget a lot of names, but people that used to just basically be like S&D kids, 15, 16-year-olds screaming in the mic, like shit like that. Like people that were known for like winning all these wagers now like working their way into the pro league. Like I guess like who do you think is like the future of like the league? I guess like the next scump who's actually going to be like the king of like COD.
See, it's crazy.
If it's not you,
look, it's hard to tell because you got to realize how many people in the pro league actually came up from Search and Destroy off the jump. Standy plays for ROKKR right now. S&D kid. I remember one of my homies actually brought him into the circle. I remember when he first got brought into the circle in Infinite Warfare. You feel me? Illy, 14-year-old genius. When he was 14, he was shitting on every player left and right, winning every big tournament possible. People feared a 14-year-old playing the game. You feel me? Dashy, S&D. All these players came up from S&D. Even the veterans like Dylan Attach. You feel me? Major Maniac. All of them. They came from
because you couldn't play in the pro league, so you had to compete somewhere.
Exactly. And the next best level of competing was Search and Destroy tournaments. And it's actually crazy being able to see everybody, you feel me, make it to the top, being able to actually do what they love to do because, like I said, I still have thoughts about it. There were times back then when we just sit in the call, you feel me? Everybody's in the call, or whether it's S&D money or whatever, and we all had that dream, you feel me? We all were there for a reason. We wanted to be there for a certain reason. And the fact that not everybody made it, obviously, some people straight away, but the fact to see this many people being able to make it, and me coming from the Search and Destroy community, I consider this community my people too, you feel me? And that's one thing I want to say is if you had that dream, don't bullshit with it. Don't push it to the side. If you want it, go get it. You feel me? And we are all living proof of that. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens is in your hand. You can't blame somebody else for your fuck ups. You feel me? That's just gonna push you further down in the ditch. You can't do that. Yeah. So it's great. It's hard to tell who's gonna be the next quote unquote scump. But shit, the closest person right now is damn near Ender. That's damn near the closest person right now. He's teaming with the man. Shit, I don't know what else to tell you.
I think the Shotzzy Illy duo, even Dashy, like is gonna like they're gonna like obviously they're under Optic now, so it's like I think they're just gonna like carry the reins of being like the most watched and play in like best and stuff. Because like I mean, they're obviously good enough, so Optic just puts the shine on them.
Exactly.
There is a streamer Equip. I don't know.
He just won the fucking $110,000. There was a $110,000 S&D tournament yesterday.
Really?
Yep.
He won it.
So basically, it was on this tournament site called eFuse hosted it. That shit. He won it with. I forget what female it was. I forget her name because I just found out about her yesterday. Yeah. Because basically the rules were you had to play with a content creator, one pro, and one female.
Yeah, I want to touch on that tweet. I seen you tweet.
Bro, they hoeing.
They said like because they called you a pro player or something that you couldn't play with another challenger or something.
They said so. Here was the format real quick. I'm gonna touch base real quick. The format was one female, one male content creator, or it could just be anybody, male, and then one pro. Yeah. You feel me? One current pro. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, cool. I seen the tournament. You feel me? And Abizi and Selly actually hit me up. They were in finals as well. And what had happened was they approved of our team because I was the content creator. They approved of the team. And keep in mind, I haven't been in the Pro League for 2 years. I don't even have a Challengers team right now. I don't have anything going on right now. So then they approved of me, and then 2 days before the tournament, like the night of Wednesday, the tournament was on Friday, yesterday, and the night of Wednesday, they ended up DMing us saying, TTinyy counts as a professional player. And I contacted him myself at that point. I'm like, why do I count as a professional player? I haven't been in the league for 2 years.
And I mean, even like it's not you didn't even play like on stage. I didn't even play, you know what I mean? Like you were on.
I'm giving them that benefit of the doubt. But then again, it's been 2 years. Yeah. And they said if you played challengers last year, you count as a pro. Wow. That was never stated in the rules. Yeah. You feel me? And on top of that, they were allowing the rest of the tournament to do it. You feel me? So I don't know if somebody was contacting them on the fact that our team was just nasty. I'm playing with Abizi and one of the best females that I knew up to date. You feel me? So I was like, I don't know if it's because of a stack team, whatever. But the case is, and they ended up enforcing that rule on only me. And then once I started tweeting about it, they ended up enforcing the rule on majority of the other teams Friday morning. Damn. So everybody had to switch up on Friday morning. And then they still ended up allowing like 3 other teams to break those rules, which I was just like, that's still fugazi. But at the end of the day, for me, I'm only a human. I did the most I could do. It is what it is.
Yeah, it stinks.
But
yeah, no.
So, hey, I want to say a quick congratulations to equipping them. My boy Kenny was on that roster as well. You feel me?
I did see that. Yeah, he was playing with Kenny.
I called him yesterday right after the tournament. I said, hey, bro, on FaceTime, I said, bro, you a fucking demon. Yeah, you a demon.
So no, the reason why I brought Equip up, I don't know if you ever had like issues with him. I remember going in a stream one time, like, cause I used to watch a lot of Equip and you before I even knew you. And I remember I feel like you guys were just like talking hella shit, but I don't know if that's just gaming banter. Like if you guys actually like,
I mean, shit, it could have been. Realistically, it could have been, because at the end of the day, it's online. You feel me? People have different looks on shit. People have different opinions on shit. People handle shit differently. You feel me? At the end of the day, it's such a different world online, to the point where it's like, we could have been talking shit, but I have no problem with Equip right now. Yeah. Me and Equip been cool.
This was a while ago too. I remember. I just remember
that's another thing.
You guys were like going back and forth, chowing each other like $100 chows on 1v1s and shit, like talking shit, like, you know what I mean. So I didn't know if it was just banter. When money gets on the line,
talking shit is gonna be involved in some way or another. Even my closest homies, like if they beat me in a chow, I'll get back in the team speak and I'll be like, y'all fucking suck, dude. Like y'all suck. You feel me? Would you be talking shit? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's nothing but love for them over there.
I mean, before we go, what's your top 3 Call of Duties of all time?
Top 3 Call of Duty: Black Ops 1, Call of Duty Ghost, and
Ghost, huh?
MW2. Okay. Or actually, no. My favorite. Damn. Black Ops 1 for sure. That's number 1, and it's there to stay. World at War. Honestly, I really like that game. I really like that game, and that was the first Call of Duty I ever played. So I might have to actually put that over Ghost. And then the third one would have to be either Ghost or MW2.
Is it Ghost because that was the first one that really got you into competitive?
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of like, I loved Search and Destroy in that game. I was a Search and Destroy kid, and I loved it.
You fuck with Blitz and shit?
I fucked with Blitz. I did. Yeah. I did.
What do you think? I guess I'm sorry. I mean, I could talk to you about 5 hours.
Ahead. Just keep busting up.
I could talk to you about.
We can extend this like 10 minutes. Come on.
Okay, but what do you? I guess so. What do you think of the current like state of the game of competitive Call of Duty like going into this season? Like, do you think it's at a good spot? Do you think like the way the game has been released, it's like pushed?
It's not
as a consumer and someone that wants to like play. Like, there's no ranked play, there's no league, league play type thing. They don't even have a third game mode solidified yet in the game, like for competitive wise. Like what would you like to see out of this game that isn't already like there?
If I'm gonna be 100% brutally honest, they're already so far behind because look, we don't even have a 12th team yet for the Pro League. There's 12.
There is
we don't even have the 12th team.
The Chicago spot's open. That's fucked.
Washington backed out. You feel me? Washington backed out, so that was that. And they backed out last minute at that. They had a roster and everything lined up, but they just ghosted everybody, backed out. And on top of that, the challenger scene is in shambles right now because, again, we don't have a third game mode.
So you can't even practice.
The first event for challengers is on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday. Right now it's Saturday, so literally next Saturday.
Without a third game
Exactly, without a third game mode. The game is still kind of broken, busted. There's just so many things going wrong in it to the point where once Halo popped off, once Halo was announced and the game dropped, the next day, the day after, it's either the day after or the 2 days after Halo dropped, they announced the whole season. We don't know our whole season. We don't know what the fuck is going on in Call of Duty. But Halo's new game can drop, and 2 days later they're gonna drop the whole season. They're dropping ranked. They're dropping the pro team skin packages and all that. Like, they're already so far ahead, and our game's been out longer than theirs. You feel me? So people are actually trying to make the switch over right now. So I mean, at the end of the day, right now the challenger scene itself is in shambles, and the pro league is even in a shaky spot because they don't even have a 12 team filling in yet.
It's just the pro league's annoying because it's like how much money that's wrapped in there and how expensive it was to buy in, and then it's just not set up.
It's really at a bad state right now, but shit, they can turn it up. They just gotta get to work.
I mean, what should people look out for? What should they? You got any cool plans? Anything that's gonna level up, Tiny?
So I'm actually ordering. I actually got a Shure SM7B, but I'm ordering a new mixer for that. So my streams, I'm trying to be able to edit my room to be able to make it look more like a stream room. So the streams are they're going to be coming for surely. That's always something that stuck with me. Another thing, expect me to be winning more tournaments. The start of Vanguard has been a beautiful time for me. I've been winning a lot. Keep out, again, shout out to my sponsors as well. Mavic, Shoe CPR, Scuff Gaming, G Fuel, all of them, you guys. All code TTinyy on them, except for Shoe CPR. Shoe CPR, that's code Devo, DEVO. But other than that, just expect me to be able to be coming out like a demon on the game. A demon on the game, and the streams are going to be lit.
Tap in. Twitch link will be in the bio and your Instagram as well. So tap in with that if you are new. If this is your first time getting introduced to Devin, tap in with the streams. He's not going to disappoint. But you can subscribe to us right now. Hit that button, hit that bell, turn notifications on. Come check out our store, 1521 Como Avenue Southeast.
Do not ride the wave late because you're going to drown, all right? Get on the water wave right now or else you're going to drown. And nobody want to drown.
Water Wave Gaming coming soon. We're actually throwing a tournament December 11th with Minnesota Mocha, subscriber-only tournament online. $500 prize pool right now, but if we get more sponsors, it'll grow. So maybe you'll have to play in that. You might have to subscribe to Mocha, get in that. You might need to get in there. Might need to get in there. But yeah, no. Stay tuned for all that. We got a lot of cool plans gaming wise. But other than that, we're just gonna keep doing our thing. Got a clothing store in Minneapolis by Dinky Town. Come check it out.
Hey, one more shout out to Minnesota Connect. 'Cause look, I just went in the fridge out there. These drinks be fire as hell. I ain't gonna cap.
That Japan fan of white peach.
Nuts.
You know where we got those at the store too. But yeah, appreciate you for coming in.
For sure.
Been wanting to do this one since I knew you, since I was doing interviews, since I found out who you were.
Long overdue for this.
I want to do it, but I like to. It's also like the longer we took, the way more you had way more stories to tell.
Yeah, yo.
But I'm sure we can probably get another one in at some point because we got a lot.
I'll be here for
I love Call of Duty. My whole life, I could ask questions and talk about COD year by year if we wanted to. So we'll definitely have to get another one in at some point. But yeah, that was TTinyy. We learned a little bit about him.
All right, then.
Let's go.
Peace.
Can't relax, I can't kick it back, I can't waste my time. If you ever take it personal, I leave that shit in it. That's a fact, who really got my back?